Welcome to our video on the top 5 grudges in World of Warcraft lore. Azeroth has seen a lot of conflict over the years, and some grudges are just too big to forget. In this video, we'll be counting down the top 5 grudges in World of Warcraft lore, based on their intensity, their impact on the world, and their potential for future conflict. These are just a few of the many grudges that have shaped the world of Azeroth. Let's begin our countdown. Illidan Stormrage and Maiev Shadowsong are two of the most iconic characters in World of Warcraft lore. Their relationship is complex and fraught with tension, and their grudge against each other is one of the oldest and most enduring in the game. Illidan and Maiev grew up together as children, training together under Tyrande Whisperwind, the High Priestess of Elune. Illidan was brilliant and ambitious, while Maiev was loyal and duty-bound. During the War of the Ancients, Illidan consumed the skull of Gul'dan in order to defeat the demon Tychondrius. This act transformed Illidan into a half-demon, and his brother, Malfurion Stormrage, imprisoned him for his reckless actions. Maiev, who had always been wary of Illidan, was appointed as his warden, tasked with guarding him and preventing his escape. When the Burning Legion invaded Azeroth during the Third War, Tyrande Whisperwind released Illidan from prison in order to gain his help in defeating the demons. Illidan escaped, but Maiev pursued him relentlessly. Illidan fled to Outland, where he sought to gain the power to defeat the Burning Legion once and for all. Maiev followed him, determined to bring him to justice. After a long and bloody conflict, Maiev finally captured Illidan and imprisoned him in the Vault of Wardens, a magical prison located in the Maelstrom. Although Illidan is now imprisoned, his grudge against Maiev continues to burn. He believes that Maiev betrayed him and that she is responsible for his suffering. Maiev, on the other hand, believes that Illidan is a dangerous criminal who must be kept locked away. The grudge between Illidan and Maiev is one of the most enduring and complex conflicts in World of Warcraft lore. It is a grudge that is fueled by hatred, bitterness, and a sense of betrayal. Arthus Manathil, the former Crown Prince of Lordaeron, was one of the most iconic villains in World of Warcraft lore. His descent into darkness was fueled by many factors, but one of the most significant was his grudge against Ner'zhul, the Lich King. Arthas was born into a life of privilege and power. He was the heir to the throne of Lordaeron, and he was expected to be a great king. Arthas was a skilled warrior and a brilliant tactician. He was also kind and compassionate, and he loved his people deeply. When the Scourge invaded Lordaeron, Arthas was determined to stop them at all costs. He led his army into battle against the undead, and he fought valiantly. However, the Scourge was too powerful, and Arthas' army was decimated. In his desperation, Arthas traveled to the Northrend to find the Runeblade Frostmourne, which was said to be the only weapon powerful enough to defeat the Lich King. However, Frostmourne was cursed, and it corrupted Arthas' mind. Under the influence of Frostmourne, Arthas returned to Lordaeron and killed his own father, King Tyrande Manathil II. He then merged with Ner'zhul, the Lich King, and became the new ruler of the Scourge. Even though Arthas had been corrupted by Frostmourne, he still retained some of his old self. He was aware of the atrocities that he had committed, and he hated Ner'zhul for making him into what he had become. Arthas and Ner'zhul fought for control of the Lich King's body and mind for many years. In the end, Arthas was victorious, and he banished Ner'zhul to the Shadowlands. Arthas' grudge against Ner'zhul was one of the most powerful driving forces in his life. It was his hatred for the Lich King that led him to commit so many atrocities. In the end, however, Arthas was able to overcome his corruption and defeat Ner'zhul. Thrall is one of the most iconic and beloved characters in World of Warcraft lore. He is a former slave who rose to become the war chief of the Horde and a champion of Azeroth. However, Thrall also has a long and complicated history with the Alliance, and he holds a deep grudge against them for the atrocities they have committed against his people. Thrall was born into slavery in the internment camps of Ner'zhul. His parents had been killed by the Alliance during the Second War, and Thrall was raised to believe that the humans were his enemies. When Thrall was old enough, he escaped from Ner'zhul and led the orcs to freedom. He then founded the new Horde, a faction that was dedicated to peace and harmony. Thrall sought to establish a peaceful relationship with the Alliance, but they were not willing to trust him. At the summit of Three Hammers, Jaina Proudmoore, the leader of the Theramore Isle, betrayed Thrall and his people. She ordered her fleet to attack the orcs, and many were killed. Thrall was devastated by the Alliance's betrayal. He realized that they would never accept the Horde as equals, and he vowed to never trust them again. Thrall's grudge against the Alliance grew over the years. He witnessed many more atrocities committed by the humans, and he began to believe that the Horde was the only faction that could protect his people. Eventually, Thrall became disillusioned with the Horde. He realized that the faction was becoming too aggressive and militaristic. He stepped down as war chief and left the Horde, but his grudge against the Alliance remained. Thrall's grudge against the Alliance is one of the most complex and enduring conflicts in World of Warcraft lore. It is a grudge that has been fueled by betrayal, hatred, and a deep sense of injustice. Sylvanas Windrunner is one of the most complex and tragic characters in World of Warcraft lore. She was once a noble ranger who fought to protect her people, but she was raised into undeath by Arthus Manathil, the Lich King. Sylvanas' experiences as a banshee and her subsequent leadership of the Forsaken have left her with a deep grudge against the world. Sylvanas Windrunner was born into a family of rangers. She was a skilled warrior and a gifted leader. When the Scourge invaded Quel'Thalas, Sylvanas fought bravely to defend her people. However, she was eventually overwhelmed and killed by Arthus Manathil, the Lich King. Arthas raised Sylvanas into undeath as a banshee. She was forced to serve the Lich King and carry out his evil commands. However, Sylvanas never fully succumbed to the Lich King's control. She retained her own will and her own memories. Sylvanas eventually broke free from the Lich King's control and founded the Forsaken, a faction of undead beings who were determined to live their own lives. Sylvanas became the leader of the Forsaken, and she vowed to protect them from all those who would seek to harm them. Sylvanas' experiences as a banshee and her subsequent leadership of the Forsaken have left her with a deep grudge against the world. She has seen the worst that humanity has to offer, and she has come to believe that the only way to survive is to be ruthless and cunning. Sylvanas' grudge has led her to commit many terrible acts, including burning down Teldrassil and killing many innocent night elves. However, Sylvanas still believes that she is doing what is right for her people. She believes that the Forsaken deserve to live in peace and security, and she is willing to do whatever it takes to achieve that goal. Sylvanas Windrunner is a complex and tragic character. She is a victim of the Lich King's cruelty, and she has been forced to endure many hardships. However, her experiences have also made her bitter and vengeful. Sylvanas' grudge against the world is one of the driving forces behind her actions, and it is likely to continue to shape her future. Tyrande Whisperwind is the High Priestess of Elune and one of the most powerful beings on Azeroth. She is also a fierce protector of her people, the Night Elves, and she holds a deep grudge against the Horde for the atrocities they have committed against them. The grudge between Tyrande and the Horde dates back to the War of the Ancients, when the Horde invaded Azeroth and destroyed the world tree Ner'zhul. This act caused a massive scar on the planet and nearly wiped out the Night Elves. The grudge was rekindled during the Third War, when the Horde invaded Ashenvale and destroyed Teldrassil, the second world tree. This act was a devastating blow to the Night Elves, and it further deepened Tyrande's hatred of the Horde. Tyrande has fought against the Horde on many occasions over the years, and she has seen firsthand the brutality and savagery of which they are capable. She has also witnessed the deaths of many of her loved ones, and this has only fueled her anger and hatred. In recent years, Tyrande has embraced the power of the Night Warrior, an ancient and powerful night elf goddess. This transformation has given her even greater strength and power, but it has also made her more ruthless and vengeful. Tyrant Whisperwind's grudge against the Horde is one of the most enduring and bitter conflicts in World of Warcraft lore. It is a grudge that is fueled by hatred, grief, and a deep desire for revenge. So, there you have it, the top 5 grudges in World of Warcraft lore. These grudges have shaped the world of Azeroth and its inhabitants, and they are likely to continue to do so for many years to come. Which grudge do you think is the strongest? Which one do you think will have the biggest impact on the future of Azeroth? Let us know in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.